Okay, so I went over a little bit of why the Democrats are mad that Joe Manchin's voting no on the Build Back Better big socialist bill. Okay, so I'm just going to name off I have all the numbers, everything that's in this bill. So 1, perpetuates a labor shortage, continues welfare benefits without work requirements. So you're going to get welfare, but you're not going to have to provide any work requirements. A climate police. $8 billion into the commission of a cabal of federally funded climate police called Civilian Climate Corps, who will conduct progressive activism on taxpayers' dime. This is literally on page 821 and 926. This is AOC's wet dream. This bill is also going to push the Green New Deal into universities. $10 billion for environmental justice. It's going to force faith-based child care provider outs. This bill actually blocks the ability of a lot of faith-based providers from participating in the child care system. They want them out. They want the church out. That's on page 280, and it's going to hurt small home daycares. It's going to require all pre-K staff to have a college degree if you want to run a daycare out of your home. It's going to increase OSHA's penalties on businesses that fail to implement the mandate to up to $700,000 per violation. It includes $2.6 billion in funding for the Department of Labor to increase enforcement. You are starting to notice that unions are getting very powerful. This Build Back Better big government socialist bill, I can say it right now, is actually giving unions total control. It's going to coerce businesses to meet union boss demands by increasing the Fair Labor Standards Act penalties by 900%. 900%, and they're mad at Joe Manchin for voting no. This is a socialism bill, guys. 900%. Unions are going to get total control. Insane. They're going to make them bigger and more powerful. If you think it can get any worse, the Democrats Build Back Better big government socialist bill, they have a lunch agenda. $643 million for procuring culturally appropriate foods. $643 million for culturally appropriate food. I mean, the abortion agenda is going to be more radical. The American utilities are going to go up. A punitive methane tax on page 367. Oh my gosh, it includes a tax on natural gas up to $1,500 per ton. That's going to cost the economy up to $9.1 billion and 90,000 American jobs. Okay, this bill even includes green energy mandate. It's going to force America to get 40% of your energy from the wind. Yeah, that worked well in Texas. Remember our freeze last year? Oh my gosh. It's going to give a wealthy Americans tax credits, $222 billion in green energy tax credits was going to be given to those who can afford expensive electric vehicles and other green innovative products. Now, these vehicles you have to charge every 2 hours. So that's going to work in the middle of beautiful state of Texas where you can't charge your car. Amnesty, they already took that out of the bill, but it's going to open the border even wider. Also in the Build Back Better, it's a big socialist bill. They're going to increase the visa limit. At least 226,000 family preference visas is going to be administered each year, page 905. Fast track green cards. Yes, they're going fast track for the green cards. For those that are seeking middle-class careers in America. Language included in the bill exempts certain aliens from the annual green card statutory limits and has been described as a hidden pipeline for U.S. employers to flood more cheap foreign graduates into millions of middle-class careers needed by American graduates. Page 910, this gets so much worse. All right, Nancy gets more pork. $200 million is earmarked for the Presidio Trust in Speaker Pelosi's congressional district. Color me not shocked, but we are going to increase energy dependence on OPEC, Russia, and China. It's going to prohibit several mineral and energy withdrawals, page 979. It's going to overturn provisions included in the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that authorize energy production in the Arctic. And it's going to result in 130,000 Americans losing their jobs and $440 billion in lost federal revenue. This is bad, y'all. The Democrats' feckless China bill is included in the Build Back Better bill. It's going to chase green energy pipe dreams. $264 million to the EPA to conduct research with left-wing environmental justice groups, remember those guys, on how to transition away from fossil fuels. And It's going to fix racist roads and bridges. They add nearly $4 billion slush fund that's going to help left-wing grassroots organize that. And yes, they call it racist roads and bridges. Page 11A3 if you don't believe me. It's going to punish red states for failing to adopt Green New Deal provisions. Mandates consequences for conservative states that don't meet radical left's green climate standards. Page 1179. You can check that one out. This bill also includes bankrupting entitlement. It's going to detach individuals from employment for more reliant government handle. This bill is actually going to include $835 billion on welfare through manipulating the tax code. Oh my gosh, page 1943. There's going to be tax benefits for the top 1%. I thought the Democrats didn't want that. It's going to possibly lift the SALT deduction cap, meaning that many top 1% of wealthiest Americans are going to pay less in taxes. It's going to span the worst parts of Obamacare. It increases taxes on Americans at every income level. What? $2 trillion in tax hikes is going to fall on those making under $400,000 a year. This is a big government socialist bill, guys. One of these things is lowers wages for working families. The corporate tax rate will increase by 5.5%. That's meaning American companies are going to face one of the highest tax burdens in the world. According to analysis, 2/3 of this tax hike is going to fall on lower and middle income taxpayers. That's on page 2110. You guys can look this up, and it's going to penalize marriage. This bill is going to permanently double the EITC's marriage penalty on childless worker benefits. You can't make this stuff up. I'm just going to wrap up a few things here. It is going to crush small businesses. This is not a Build Back Better bill. This is horrible. It's going to hammer small businesses that file as individual tax earners with a 39.6 rate. And Obamacare's 3.8% tax on net investment income. This is all on page 2221, guys. You can look it up. It's going to crush family businesses and farms. Capital gains is going to go up. First, they started with 25%. It's going to get higher. They're going to make alterations to the death tax, including the exemption of the death tax. Okay, so the final two, I'm just going to say thank you, Joe Manchin, for voting no. Don't let them talk you into voting yes. It's going to increase out-of-pocket costs for those who rely on prescription drugs. This bill repeals the Trump-era rebate rule, which passes through rebates directly to consumers, the point of sale. And lastly, it's going to import policies from countries with socialized medicine. This bill includes healthcare policies importing from systems in Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Japan, United Kingdom, all countries who have government-run healthcare. I have been in Australia and I've seen how poorly the healthcare was whenever my friend had a heart attack, period. Their government ran and they left them on the side of the house because the government doesn't care. Thank you, Joe Manchin, for voting no. Please don't let them sway you to vote yes.